Skinner, Dean and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and A. Cochrane. You can text us on 81215 if you like. It'd be crazy to do it if you don't. And follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio. Email us, remember those? Through the Absolute Radio website. Lovely design on that, baby. So,
Morning.
Morning.
It is actually Alan Cochrane. There's not just any member of my family. And
why did Frank go A. Cochrane?
Cochrane.
Extraordinary decision.
Alan's a bit of a mouthful.
Is it?
That's what I've heard.
it's been said.
Strange, no offence, but it would be quite a strange name to call a child now.
Alan?
Yeah.
Oh, listen, can you...
What's that noise?
No, I have a theory that whenever you say, what's that noise, the listeners can't hear it, only we can hear it.
Oh, really?
That's
It
what I
sounds
think.
like there's a mosquito trapped in the whole system, doesn't it?
There is a mosquito trapped in the whole system. I've told you that before. I've said never bring up the mosquito in the system thing. Do you think we want animal rights people standing in Golden Square saying, Mozzie out?
It's
I think it's the
intermittent,
cockerel's
isn't it? It's going and going.
stomach.
No, it's not my stomach this week, I promise you.
Food
stopped
prices
when
have gone up.
I'm starting to
It
wish
stopped when I stopped eating bread, all that, didn't it?
I wish I'd stopped with Weetabix and not had that mosquito.
We've actually had an email from...
I thought it was like a sort of a poor man's blood sausage to eat a mosquito, like having a black pudding.
Yeah.
But I didn't find it very fulfilling. Carry on.
That was our little dog in the playground moment, and it's passed.
We had an email that's somewhat about my name. Remember last week when I confessed that I did not have a love for cricket? In fact, I went a bit further. I think I went a little further.
It was ugly between you two.
We've had an email titled Cricket that says, was Alan aware that there is a Cochrane Street round the corner from the home of cricket? I have taken a photo with the Lord's floodlights in the background, but can't see how to send it via the website, and I'm not on the Twitter.
I like the term, the Lord's floodlights. It sounds like a religious thing. Yeah. It's a reference to the Aurora Borealis, or as I call them, the Lord's floodlights. That's like the Northern Lights thing. Look it up. Oh, by the way, about this for a challenge, because we've got some very clever wordsmiths who listen to this show.
Yeah.
It's that time of the year, of course, when all the schools have broken up.
School's out for summer.
In Alice Cooper's song School's Out, when he says, we ain't got no innocence, we can't even think of a word that rhymes, I bet that one of our readers can think of
something that rhymes with innocence.
Yeah, that's what I think can happen. If you can, give us a text on 81215.
Okay.
Brilliant, another brilliantly inventive texting.
Slightly strange, if you don't mind me saying.
I know, but I'm getting really good at this now.
Oh, yeah?
That's what I think. Carry on.
Carry on, I've read it to you.
Okay, I thought you said you had two. Did you say you had two things?
967. I didn't, did I? Okay. Oh, there is another one about Lords, actually.
Oh, it's looking a bit suspicious that you might have said I had two things in.
Dear Mr, Mrs and Master Radio, the whole radio family, firstly thought I'd say I love the show, and I know you won't read this part out if you read the email at all, but right, I see. Re Frank's comment last week that Lord's Cricket Ground was the oldest sporting venue in the UK at 200 years.
I read that out. It wasn't my
True.
Yeah.
Since the first game there. I just thought I'd get in touch to let you know that Ascot Race Course was founded in 1711, meaning the first race there was 303 years ago. Sorry, Frank, but you're out by 103 years. Keep up the good work.
Well, it was. I just read it.
It's like when you try to guess my age, you're out by that mark.
Also, 1711 is...
That's Hugh from Ealing.
I like they went for 1711, not 1710, though. Shows they're a bit inventive.
And
I was talking about that. I was reading the paper this morning, it's the Sun or the Mirror. They've basically become each other. And that bit, you're thinking, oh, it's interesting. Oh, look at that. Look at her. Look at the size of this woman. And then you get to, it's a horse racing in the middle. And then I never get to the second half of the paper. No. Horse racing drags me down. Don't know what my dad would say. He loved a flutter.
Oh, did he? Did he like the nags?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Hey, you've started something on the texts.
Hey. Well, yeah, you have.
Oh, I've worked out the noise as well, by the way.
What was that noise?
Oh, yeah.
Well, apparently the air vents here, the new air vents are too big and it causes a reverberation. We need thinner vents. We ain't got no innocence. We need some thinner vents. You see?
Such a lie, just so you could crowbar that in.
I wouldn't say it was crowbarred, I'd say it slithered in.
As it happens, one of the texts that we've had is Mosquito can be heard listening via DAB radio. Thankfully, it wasn't a swarm, so it's good to know that the listenership could hear that as well.
Yeah.
Because I was a bit worried they were just going to think that we'd run mad, the three of us.
897, Innocence, down the shop with a handful of pence.
No, because it's got to be innocent. It's got to rhyme with the whole thing. Kerry, who is on the show today, has very cleverly said, what about innocence? You know,
very good,
I suppose,
Kerry.
in a sense. So he could have said, got no innocence. Well, I suppose we have innocence.
Yeah.
That would have been a brilliant.
Why would he have gone some strange Birmingham accent suddenly?
Well, he wouldn't
mid-song?
have done it in that. He'd have done it as Alice Cooper. I guess we have. Well, you know, like in a sense. If
One of
he'd
the
have done it that
most,
way.
One of the most concise texts we've ever had is pestilence, Stuart.
Well, again, it doesn't fall the full rhyme of inner.
Okay.
I'm loving what a hard taskmaster you're being.
Yeah.
this
Telling you
time.
what he said. Sorry, Stuart.
a good
they're not
choice.
my
I
rules.
respect you for it,
What,
Frank.
Stuart? I think people are going to rhyming dictionary and they'll just look in last syllable and I want whole thing.
Oh, you think they're cheating? You've accused them
Well,
of cheating.
in a
You're
sense-
cheating badly.
Thin events.
I'm assuming you're going to be similarly harsh on 267. How about omnipotence?
Okay.
To rhyme with innocence.
Sorry, not good enough.
I like the fact they've put how about omnipotence brackets total power close
They've
brackets.
explained
as
what
if-
it meant.
Yeah.
You guys are going to need this information.
What about my meal money for tonight?
What do you mean?
My dinner pence.
Dinner pens.
It's if you'd have said that.
Oh, that
Got
would
no
work.
innocence, but they better remember their dinner pence.
That
If
would
they're at
work
school.
really well if anyone in the world had ever used that phrase.
Well, we used to call lunch
Dinner
dinner,
pence.
so we used to say dinner money at school. So dinner money, dinner pence. I'd have allowed
Oh, we
Alice.
didn't do that. It just added to the account.
I'd have allowed Alice a bit of poetic.
That was our dinner money.
Yeah,
Licence.
I got free school dinners.
You know my moment with Alice Cooper? I must have told you about that.
Oh, yeah.
I interviewed Alice Cooper.
Oh,
And
yeah.
You know this theory of agape, when you suddenly feel complete and
Is that
pure
how you say that? I thought
love.
it was agape because you
Well, of
mentioned
course
this
you did.
about a month ago. No,
course
I've
you did.
already got it wrong.
The woman who said, the bloke who said, I see a Tulissa's in court. Tulissa
I got that
is
wrong
in
last
court.
week. didn't I?
Oh, I mean, I didn't know where to look.
Oh, yeah.
The Guardian. So,
That's where I should have looked.
yeah, what was I what was the...
You were
Yes.
talking about Alice Cooper.
Okay.
Yeah, so agape. So I was interviewing him and I suddenly really loved him. I felt real unashamed. And I'm not like a giant fan or anything. It was just human being to human being.
Did you express it?
How could I say that? I just looked at him and thought, you know what, you're a beautiful spirit.
That is one of the pressures of being a television chat show host, is that you can't just blurt out, I love you, to your guests.
Particularly when you're on drugs.
I mean, that would make the ratings go through the roof, wouldn't it?
He'd have looked on it. He's not a man who wants to be loved as well. He wants to be feared in that
Yeah.
kind of way.
Does it?
Always surprised me that Alice Cooper plays a lot of golf.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem right, does
Oh,
it?
does he?
He
Yeah,
does,
it's a bit
yeah.
Jamie Redknapp, the old golf, isn't it?
Yes. I tell you what I was looking at in the tabloids this morning. There's some new dramas coming on the telly. And
Lovely.
there's a thing with Nicholas Lyndhurst and Dennis Waterman and some other things. And it's that bit when the actors have to, because they're in drama, in the publicity shots, they have to look really sort of serious. And
Yeah.
it just it's the funniest. I'm going to put on a massive exhibition of actors in publicity shots saying it's a drama.
They're doing drama face.
Photographer saying, right, okay, guys, here we go. Remember, drama. Okay, got it? Bring that down a bit, Nick. No smiles, Dennis. Down. Brilliant. That's what I think is happening. And that's... If anyone wants to send in any
Yeah.
actors deliberately looking like I'm in a drama face, I'd love to see them. Maybe we can have a little exhibition on our website.
yeah.
Oh,
Thanks.
God, I've gone completely social network. Yes.
What about in my pants?
After dinner mints.
No, in my pants. Got no innocence. Especially in my pants. We need to workshop that.
You're listening listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
We were just saying that almost certainly David Beckham has a specialist person whose job is purely to say, "Oh, your breath smells a bit today, Mr. Beckham." Or
Well, I should say this came about because I had suggested a celebrity who shall remain nameless has
Yes.
suffered from very bad BO.
Yes. But, and I said that David Beckham would not be allowed to have that because there is someone, I'm sure they're called the honesty attaché to David Beckham, and they have to say you've got a bogey bat in the cave, left barrel. They have to say stuff like that.
I like to see that essentially as my role with you, honesty attaché.
Yeah, I think everyone needs one. So many people at the top end, they don't have them. Or so many people generally don't have them. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean...
We're at the top end now, are we?
No, but, you know, as I've said before, there's a bad breath. It's the secret epidemic, bad breath. Why aren't there families and friends saying, "Whoa, whoa"?
There is a lot of breath.
Wait, can you turn? Whoa! Why aren't they doing that?
And you're so right, Frank. It's often kind of regional CEOs, I find.
Yeah, it's people with power, and
Yeah.
everyone's frightened to say it. Everyone should have. You should decide if you've got an honesty attaché in your life. If you haven't, get one. If you need it to be me, okay.
Glenn Upwood has texted, "How about frankincense, guys?"
Frank,
I mean,
Innocence.
I don't think it
Frank.
works. And also he's gone, "Guys."
No, I don't mind Guys.
All right.
He might be writing
Guy.
from Guy's Hospital. He's there trying to help
He's
people
not
and save
capitalised
lives,
the
and
G.
you're taking the mickey. Well, because, you know, he works there regularly. Perhaps he's a big fan of E. Cummings,
You think?
the poet who used lowercase exclusively.
Oh, yeah.
Absolute Radio here, the home of commercial fun.
Jamie in Saffron Walden has said, "How about I've got no innocence as I'm travelling into France?" I mean, that's not...
Absolutely,
I like
terrible.
it. If he did it in his "got no innocence, I'm telling in the friends." No.
Terrible.
Oh, it's not terrible. I love that people are joining
It's no
in.
Connor Clark, I'd like a thinner fence.
No, but that is... I did
like a
use...
thinner fence.
Yeah.
That's
It's
all
good,
right.
but I did use thinner vents.
Oh, yeah,
So he's
thinner
taken
vents.
half
You've
of my-
workshopped it
You've done
together,
half the work.
cooperation.
You've loosened the jar there.
He took half my rhyme. It happens every time. And I am left with a half rhyme.
Right, Elvis Costello.
I tell you, speaking of successful Edinburgh shows, I was... I had a dream. What
Oh, yeah.
happened?
this week, and I know we have a rule about not telling dreams on the show, which we mentioned
It's a much
just before.
flaunted rule.
We
Whenever
do.
we tell our dreams.
And why do we have this rule? I've told you. Because it's more boring than listening to people's
Okay,
problems.
but this is quite a quick. I had a
Okay.
dream that I did. I'm doing Edinburgh. We move. Actually, next week's show is live from Edinburgh.
We're moving up there.
Yes, we're basically
Yeah.
moving there. And
Frank is the hottest ticket in Edinburgh, apparently.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
I should say there will be someone in my property.
I should say that my tickets are made of phosphorus. That's
Yeah,
how
they're
I-
white hot.
But I had a dream, and I dreamt a sort of perfect, brilliant, hilarious, award-winning, massively successful Edinburgh show, just in a dream.
Did you?
I mean, if you'd have heard the crowd response, I stood up and, it was... I woke up and I didn't stand up, not until after I'd woke up.
Yeah.
I woke up and I felt elated by the crowd response to the show. I'll tell you after what the show was. When I say after, I don't mean off air, I mean after this lovely song.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
You know, we usually get a good text from Ian Angel every week, I would say. We get
He's a consistent reader.
Yeah, he's excelled himself again. Frank, if you keep dreaming, you'll turn into a Z-list celebrity.
Oh, yeah.
Too late.
Strong work.
Too late.
And
Angel.
760 has said, "A rule you don't talk about dreams, not on my radio, you don't." That's true. We do it fairly frequently.
Was there a click then, do you think? I imagine it was, not on my radio, you don't.
No, they've finished with great show, but I didn't read that because we don't do
thanks for that.
praise.
But thanks for saying it. I always say, don't get me wrong, it's nice of you to say it, but when I hear DJs reading out, "Oh, I really think you've got a brilliant show," I think, don't be so immodest.
So, go on, what happens in this dream then?
Well, you stormed it.
I went on stage in Edinburgh, and...
Was it a big arena? How many are you playing
it
to?
wasn't that big, but it felt, it was packed. And my show was, I did, Hopelessly Devoted to You.
Oh, do I know it?
From Greece.
I think it might have been written by Louis St. Louis, a family friend.
Really?
Yeah.
Louis St.
I
Louis?
told you about him. He wrote Greece.
Yeah, he was so good. They named him... So, it was me, but not really singing. Basically, I went on and went...
So you half mumbled the song.
Not even half mumbled. These are not the first cry. And the crowd were going absolutely. I mean, really, they were going mad.
When you say going mad, do you mean as a positive?
No,
people weren't holding their ticket up going,
$27.50. It was storming it. Can I say my Edinburgh tickets are not $27.50?
and they're sold out anyway.
It's always trying to put people off. They're not sold out. They're not sold out.
I heard they were phosphorus.
But it was. They are very phosphorus.
So did you just stood there in a suit singing that badly?
Nowhere to hide.
Did you have one of your suits on? Was it the full?
I don't remember. I was
Were
wearing.
people clapping? They loved it.
But it was absolutely stormed it. I mean, it was like, and I'm woke up. You know that 2 seconds you think, why haven't I thought of this before?
Oh yeah,
so much easier than writing.
Frank,
jokes.
please don't do that.
No. Well,
I mean, it is easier than writing jokes. You are absolutely right there.
No, don't try it.
If I just start like it, I could go on and go.
Quite a high risk to do at the start, but yeah. I mean,
Alan, it's quite high risk to do it.
You may never get that power back.
I could say I was just trying out the microphone there. Yeah. Okay. Maybe an encore?
Yeah, definitely. Do it as the encore. I'd love that.
I had a lovely dream about David Niven this week.
Did you?
Yeah. He was giving me love advice.
Okay. He's got plenty of that, of course, what with Nessie and all that.
He said I was talking about my boyfriend.
Mm-hmm. Got a boyfriend?
Yeah. And he said he's a lovely man, but he's young, and the young man, they're full of euphoria. And I think he meant euphoria, but I didn't want to correct him. So now I'm just going to use that as a word, because it was good enough for David Niven.
But wasn't you for that security company that was disgraced during the 2012 Olympics?
I think that was G4, but yeah.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Oh, Frank, do you know what? If you did that show...
You for the security company they look after sheep.
I'd definitely pay, what is it, $27.50 to come and see that.
Okay. It isn't $27.50 in Edinburgh.
Tickets still available. They're not as phosphorus as we thought.
How much is it?
Oh,
He doesn't know.
I don't know.
He just knows they're not 27.
I get in free. That's one of the things of being up on stage I really like about it.
The Frank Skinner Show. Listen live every Saturday morning from 8 on Absolute Radio.
Oh, I tell you what I did this week. I experimented in the shower.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no, I hate these shower tales.
I have a very,
Set my teeth on edge.
I have a very rigorous, I think I've told you before, very disciplined procedure in the shower. I facial scrub, and then I wash my hair, and then I work my way down.
That's what I'm worried about.
Culminating in the cavities between each toe.
Oh, yeah.
You like some foot scrub.
And then I'm done. This week, I don't know what got into me. But I went in feet first, so to speak.
Did you?
So I got in the shower. I hadn't planned it.
Can I just ask, do you use a very small, worn-down piece of soap, is what I'm imagining?
Well, I'll tell you what I do is... now, here's a strange thing. When a piece of soap starts to get a bit on the small side, so less fun, I keep it for below the waist. So I use the new tablet down to my navel, and then I'll go back to the small soap for the lower areas.
Oh, right.
Right.
Yeah, I see. Well, actually, that's a good system, because when you said that you you'd experimented with cleaning yourself feet upwards, I was thinking, well, hang on, that means that you're washing your face with something that was just moments ago washing your feet and even your nether regions, shall we say. But if you're using separate bits of soap, that's fine. It's not as unhygienic as I thought.
Why didn't you use shower gel?
I'm just thinking, would this show be more annoying whenever you two spoke? I went,
I think it would for the listeners, but that is my favourite bit of it ever since I joined.
be so... You wouldn't be able to listen to it, would you? Stop doing that!
I really enjoyed that.
That's true, and I've realised that when you start at the top, that of course there's been some drippage and drainage. So by the time you get to the legs, they've already been primed, so to speak, by stuff running down. But it's
like glistening,
and you do. You feel you steadily moving filth towards your mouth. Is what the feeling of showering up.
It's like the 90s for you all over again.
Yeah, but. It was. I think it's good to challenge these. The systems of life.
I go right the other way. I do a full handstand and
do you?
And just shower myself.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Yeah, why not? We can't all do it. It'd be weird.
No.
Do you use soap as well?
Pardon?
Do you use soap?
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you use soap.
Is this an intervention?
No, because I don't think I've ever used soap.
I think the honesty attaché has arrived. Do you use soap at all?
I'll be honest, I'm a fan of the shower gel. I like the full suds.
Except I pay for mine.
Yeah, that's different. That is different.
I know I don't.
That'd be crazy. You don't. You go to the shower gel room at your office.
Shower gel cupboard.
I actually paid for the one that I'm currently using as well. So there.
Do you have a condition?
Nah.
Well, you see, I occasionally condition, and here's my thing. It usually says, someone told me many years ago, it might not even be true, leave the conditioner to sit on your hair for about a minute and a half, and then it gets a chance. Am I right, Em? You know this. So what I do is I put the conditioner on my hair, and then I shower really quickly all the other bits. I think better hurry up, otherwise, because there's a moment when conditioner stops doing good and starts doing evil.
Oh, does
if
it?
You leave it on too long.
Oh, really?
Hurry up.
If I was to find, say, a snag nail on one of my toes and get preoccupied and forget about it, my hair would probably be completely white like Billy Idol from the conditioner.
Is that what happened to him?
If I left it on, that's what happened. He
have a condition.
He was washing his hair and he had an idea for a song.
Oh.
He keeps a waterproof notepad in the shower for such moments.
Natch.
By the time he'd changed he'd messed about with the verse, didn't get it quite. Instead of just doing a rough draft and doing that later.
Just play the music.
Tried to get it all in the show and he had completely white hair.
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
What about Mark suggests, how about this? To the copper I pleaded my innocence after I crashed my car into the fence.
Again, not a rhyme with inner sense. It should rhyme. It should be like pinner vents.
He's made so much effort, though.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that people. Lovely that Mark has tried. But it's lovely that people go into the Olympics or the Commonwealth Games, indeed, and try to win medals. If they don't, they haven't won medals. It's great that they were there, but no medal. Okay.
760 has texted, who buys soap nowadays? Surprised they still sell it.
What?
Well, I agree with that. Where does one buy it?
What about Lush?
Oh, no.
That's a soap. That is a shop of soap.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, but they have soap with egg and bacon and things in it. I don't want that. Just have a plain soap.
I just get little bars of soap from hotels, or I use shower gel.
It shouldn't be sold. Yes, of course you get small bars of soap from hotels.
Got a whole room full of them.
I'm surprised you don't use soil to clean yourself.
Well, it's funny you should say that, because
it's not that funny.
I broke a record of my own for non-shower or bathing this week.
It's not as funny as hopelessly devoted. Slightly muttered.
What's the longest you've ever gone without an official bathe? This is a question.
Oh well, is that your question or from a listener?
I mean, in my youth, we didn't bathe at home.
Frank,
Right.
is this honesty attaché again?
Yeah, but we exactly. We didn't bathe.
This week I went Monday
Did you
morning
not?
to
No.
Thursday evening
Monday morning to the... Oh, you absolutely disgusting animal.
with just a couple of dips in the sea to sort of
That's all right.
cook
If
as
you
a
dips
wash.
in the sea, that is a bath.
And a few baby wipes. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's what I
Oh,
was
did you
thinking.
do a prison
if-
wash then?
if I wouldn't have a
Yeah,
bath
did a
if
bit
I'd
of a
been
prison wash.
swimming.
Yeah.
That's what
Frank,
you'll
you...
dry your skin out. That's all you'll do if you
We
do
figured that it was a treatment in some places, wasn't it? Like a sea salt shampoo thing. So we
Yeah,
just
keep
thought, well,
making
that'll
yourself
do.
feel better.
Yeah.
Do you know, I sometimes, twice a day sometimes...
Oh, I love a 2 and
that. You
3
have a
shower
bath twice
day.
a day. You're going to dry your skin out.
Oh, says all dirty people to make themselves feel better.
You know, like when I go to all the big festivals, you know, for the Isle of Wight, Glastonbury, I don't bother
Glasgow,
to,
yeah.
go to bathe then.
Great tunage.
Did you really live a bath when you were growing up?
Very,
Bar.
very rarely. Because to get hot water, we had to put the coal fire on. We had to
Oh, tell me
build
about
a
it.
coal fire.
He's not
And-
kidding.
I'm not kidding.
It's somewhat Dickensian, though, isn't it?
You are.
The Frank Skinner Show on Absolute Radio. Back Saturday morning from 8. Tune in live for the full Frank experience.
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. Why don't you text us on 8 12 15? Come on. No, people have, and it's been lovely. Follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio, or email the show through the Absolute Radio website.
Oh, I'll tell you what we need to talk about this morning.
Kevin?
No. We haven't even touched on this yet. What about the opening ceremony of the Commonwealth Games? Did either of you see it?
Oh, yes, I saw it.
No. I'm
What about
afraid not.
Barrowman? I mean, I'd like to talk for maybe 2 hours straight on Barrowman.
I don't think
2
you
hours
talk
straight.
straight on Barrow. I am a Barrow fan.
Oh, so am I. I love Barrow.
I experienced Barrowmania.
Pardon? What was that then?
Barrowmania.
What's
What, how,
Barrowmania?
Frank, how
Really,
would
a
you...
mania about Barrowman.
Oh, okay.
I didn't think that was a tricky
Is he,
structure to work out.
What about when I sat with him once and he went through the labels on all his clothes?
Did he?
He went Hugo Boss, Armani, TK Maxx, TK Maxx.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh,
He was proud of his bargain hunting.
I'm warming to him now, actually.
Well, I once had to do a big...
Sport Direct.
I had to do a big toast.
Did you do any
my
sport?
back, my luggage is Sport Direct. The one with the Muhammad Ali, that's, you know, limited edition. I'll tell you what's weird, he was completely Scottish on the opening ceremony.
Was he?
Well, this is it.
Oh,
he
he does that, doesn't
segues.
he?
He
He
segues.
does.
I was
Yeah.
talking to someone...
That's a California thing, though.
Someone I know is Scottish. No, he travelled on a Segway.
Yeah.
In fact, looking back, I can't believe there wasn't a Segway
I
in the
can't.
opening.
There was everything
It was
else.
screaming for a Segway, that opening ceremony. I was doing a group toast at the end of this TV series, and we all had to raise champagne, and I don't drink, and I said, well, I'll hold up champagne anyway, and then just not
Yeah.
drink. Don't shoot me, you know, I mean, with the camera, because I won't be drinking it. And he said, no, this is not, and he ran off, Barrowman, and disappeared off into the hotel area, and then came back about 5 minutes later with an orange juice in a glass for me.
Oh.
And I thought, I loved you anyway, but now I love you
Oh,
even
that's
more.
nice.
Oh, I love Barrowman.
Did you have agape for him? Agape? Agadoo? What is it?
No, I had a Gap for him.
He was very much
Sorry,
a
I
star.
misread that. I had a Gap voucher, which I gave him.
He loves a bargain of a...
He got some hooded top with
Yeah.
Gap on the front.
Oh, yeah.
He was very much the star of the show, wasn't he?
He was
Of
he
the
was
opening
amazing.
ceremony?
Oh, yeah, it was all about Barrowman.
Well, I don't know if it
Good.
was all about... The thing about the opening ceremony, it was about the people. It was the people's opening. I'll tell you what it was like, Alan, if you didn't see it. I think the Commonwealth Games, unlike the Olympics and the World Championship, always has an element of school sports day about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something. And this, it was like a school fete, the opening
it was.
ceremony. I mean, any moment I was anticipating a tombola.
Oh.
It was very done. It was like deliberately done down. I thought. I think
yeah.
I think deliberately.
It was school play, you know.
Right.
But did you like it, Frank?
I did. I really liked it. There was it presented by some Scottish woman called something Dunbar. Or
Karen Dunbar.
Do you know her?
Yeah.
I think she's a Scottish comedian.
Yeah, it said
She
that.
is.
I've got to be honest. I'm not familiar with her work, but Kath at one point said to me, she wants to be careful she doesn't over-flare her nostrils. It's very interesting.
I think I've just done that as you said
That's
it.
what she said to Black Beauty.
And she was, every time she said
Yeah.
something, her nostril, she really pushed them to the very outer limits of nostril work.
Really?
Did you see the gay kiss?
I
loved
did,
it.
yes.
I loved the gay kiss.
Yeah, Barrowman did a gay kiss.
What?
Yeah.
On an opening ceremony for
Yeah.
the Commonwealth
Hey,
Games?
this is the 21st century, don't give me that look.
All right, Prince Philip, over there.
No, it's just
Who is
curious.
Gaza? Yeah,
Wow.
by curious.
I was just curious, yeah.
No, it was...
Now, the only issues I had a couple of
I'm
issues.
going to move to Scotland. That's what
Are
I've
you?
decided. I'd love to live in a sort of
Oh,
children in
Scotland's great.
need, cheap T-shirt, nylon wig, everyone mocking in kind of world. It sounds brilliant.
And is that Scotland? Is that what you've just depicted?
That's how it was depicted in the opening ceremony.
I didn't like.
Children in need tartan wig.
It is
Anyway.
quite like that.
Yeah. There were people with tonics, tea cakes,
Yeah,
hats
on their head.
on big
Wow.
hats.
Didn't the tartan get a bit of a slagging off? Isn't that what happened?
Well, when the teams came out, because I've got
Yeah.
a few words to say on some of the national gear.
And maybe we should hold out
Yeah.
for this because we need to play music now.
Oh,
again.
okay.
Yeah.
But honestly, you missed a treat.
Yeah.
No, there was someone dressed as a treat as well.
Oh, really?
All the confectionery.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Sorry, I've got a bit toffee mouth.
Oh, dear.
These things happen. So anyway, so the kilts.
The
But you know when they
tartan.
all come out and they have all their... Well, it's not really national dress, is it?
No.
It's just something they feel reflects the flavour of
What?
the country.
It's sort, isn't it? National dress.
Well, our national dress isn't black blazer and Microsoft inventor slacks, which is what we appear to be wearing.
I see what you mean. Yeah,
Wales
should
had
have
Snide Harringtons.
Did they?
Snide.
You all went a bit sweethead, Frank.
I must admit, I as always with opening ceremonies, I bail out before the athletes come.
Oh,
'cause
do you?
The parade of athletes. I know it's funnier in the Commonwealth Games because of the outfits, but
Oh,
I don't want to look at fit people in suits.
you missed it.
Fit people, especially really strong, big people in suits, I find really upsetting.
Really?
Weightlifters in suits and that
Oh.
terrible thick necks and.
You missed a treat with the Maldivians.
Oh, yeah.
I've often thought that.
But they got some flack, didn't they, the Scots, for the
Yeah.
kilts. They were quite... it was sort of techno tartan.
Yeah.
I didn't mind it.
Me
I thought-
neither.
I thought it was all
I
right.
didn't mind it, but I didn't like the what I call QI panellist shirt teamed with the kilt.
Oh, I see.
Do you know what I mean? It was a pale blue shirt
Football
with a slight
focus,
pattern. Yeah.
Whenever I watch Football Focus, and bear in mind these men are all either athletes or sex athletes, I always think maybe the shirt, the dress shirt, the buttons, collar, was a mistake. Because it never looks right on any
Yeah.
of them.
No.
It's always pulled to one side, their shoulders look weird. Like when I watch Gary Lineker, who I'm a big fan of, presenting the Commonwealth Games, all I can look is the tightening buttons on his around the stomach area, and he's got a good bod.
Well, I don't
yeah.
find that a problem, I have to say.
I just find I just think,
I find that an incentive to watch.
well, I just think maybe dress shirts are a mistake. Generally.
I concur.
I saw Subo was on a course. I added a bit of extra tension to there. No, it does though,
Super.
because
Well,
Claire
she got the lines wrong, Frank.
She
Did
did.
she?
I felt so, yeah, she
Mull of Kintyre.
she
Hang
forgot.
on. She
Mull.
got Mull of Kintyre wrong, and you're telling me about John Barrowman first. That's big
Well,
news,
because
isn't it?
you're always not sure whether you can talk about Subo.
Oh.
No. She's
Really?
a troubled soul.
Oh, I don't
Okay.
know. She seems better, but Claire Baldwin I felt wasn't trusted. She interviewed that,
Yeah.
real quick fire. So you going well? She'd say yes, I am. Yeah. And then there was the next question.
Right.
I think what you don't want from Subo is a second sentence
No.
because they think she might go a bit avant-garde. And so,
Avant-garde?
yeah, and you could tell she was a bit. You could tell she was a bit nervous, Claire, and she wouldn't let him move on at all. And I thought she looks nice now, and she's got I don't know.
Oh, she's scrubbed up lovely.
No, she has. God bless her.
What about when the Malaysian president of the Commonwealth Games couldn't open the Queen's Baton? Oh,
You know, I missed that. I was gone by then as well.
Had you?
I saw the Queen. I thought, oh yeah, know what's coming next now. Speeches and stuff.
She didn't jump out of a plane or anything. It was all pretty
No.
normal.
Now she jumped out of a cake.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Tiny bikini on.
a Tonix tea cake, was it?
she
It
put
looked
lipstick on.
She
Yes,
was.
oh yeah,
And
she
she
put,
reapplied her lipstick. That was my favourite moment ever in life.
The Queen had an Emily Dean moment.
Yeah, she did.
she puts her own lipstick. I
No
mean,
way.
What goes through
I
her
think-
mind? Does she look and think, oh, I don't look quite hot enough, I'll put some
no,
more lipstick
you know
on?
what had happened?
What?
Honesty attaché. It was sitting
She had an
behind,
honesty attaché.
leaned forward, saying that lips looking a bit blue, mum, so I have to say.
Either
And,
that or she got some post and opened it and realised, hang on, I don't look like the stamp at all. I
she
need to-
doesn't. She doesn't look that lipsticky on the.
That's a good point.
So you've got her
actually,
mixed up with Pat Butcher.
You're listening to the Frank Skinner podcast from Absolute Radio. Want your Frank fix a little sooner? Listen live every Saturday from 8 a.m. on Absolute Radio. Across the UK on digital radio, mobile apps, and in London and the South East on 105.8 FM.
Absolute Radio.
What about when Chris Hoy was denied entrance to the Chris Hoy Velodrome?
That's funny.
One of my favourite stories.
That's very.
So have you
very
got any
fine.
idea?
Brilliant.
You do the
Brilliant.
accent. And
I can do the
On your
accent.
no.
On your bike, that'd be great. That'd
that's
be very
worse.
good.
That's like you being denied access to that central reservation in Birmingham.
Yeah, that would be outrageous. But I find that the security's pretty lax there.
We've actually had an email saying there were cameramen on Segways, Frank.
Oh, there were.
Apparently so.
Oh,
I
were
miss
there?
that. But I'm afraid when Barrowman's on screen, the periphery
Oh.
stuff just goes into
Yeah,
blur.
you can't be
for me.
looking on the edges. I've actually watched some of the sport though. I didn't see the games start the opening ceremony, but
No.
I've had a bit of a result because every time I've turned it on, either something exciting or something that I have a passing interest in has been on. The first
That's
one,
true of television, isn't it?
no, not at all.
it
There's
not?
loads of telly that just does nothing for me. You know, and not just cricket,
Oh.
other
I
stuff.
don't know what to say,
Stay
Frank.
away from cricket.
The first time I turned it on, I saw the young man win the 200 metres breaststroke that
Oh, you see that young
did.
man.
Well, he's only 20.
Okay.
But he did a really cute thing where he won it by a time that he's never done, and so he sort of touched the sides, and then when he turns round, there's a shot of his face when he sees his time, and he's literally going, like that. He's looking like, oh, I didn't know I could do that fast. It's really good, really. And it said that he's also competing in the 50 metres breaststroke and the 100 metres breaststroke. This guy just breaststrokes all the time.
Breaststrokes for England.
I wonder. No,
Oh, no, it
Scotland.
doesn't Sorry.
I just wondered if he might even commute to work. I wonder if he lives on a river and he studies down the road. I'll just swim to work, swim to training, swims everywhere. That guy. And they mentioned David Wilkie on the commentary. I don't know why, but David Wilkie gives me flashbacks to school. I don't really know why, because I think he last won a medal in 1976. I was born in 75, so why do I know who David
Well, I tell you what,
Wilkie is?
sticks
Let's
in
not all
my-
start talking about when we were born, for goodness sake. Goodness sake.
That'd be awful. Also, I don't think I have. Who do you think you're kidding, Mr. Hitler, as a jingle? I am David. The reason I think of David Wilkie is that when I was being taught to swim a few years ago,
Oh, yeah.
the man said the way to best way to get your goggles on steam is to gob in them
Is that right?
and rob the saliva around, and
Yeah.
that's what he said. And that's what David Wilkie used to do.
Brilliant.
Did you do that?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I love that you did that.
I had to write to David Wilkie. I sent him a container and a self-addressed envelope so that he could send me some of his
Oh, good.
saliva.
Brilliant. And you use it for mosquito bites
Yeah.
as well now, don't you?
Well, I don't know about that. I'm a bit.
Keep a bit back.
I think I want to keep that. For me, you know, Wilkie for goggles. That's what we say in our house.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Email corner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it. Let's start with what I'm going to call email 1.
Oh, yeah.
Let's start at the very beginning. That's a very good place to start.
Lovely.
All right, John Barrowman.
Thank you.
More interesting timings.
Always
Oh.
happy to have a
Yes.
email corner.
This is, of course, to do with Frank's observation last week that you prefer to set the alarm to a slightly unconventional time, don't you? You don't like the 12ths.
I was up, I think, the oppressive 12th, 5 past, 10 past, quarter past. Forget about it. Who tells us we have to do that? So my alarm went off this morning at 6:04.
No.
Yeah.
Wowie.
And
Anyway,
I felt already I'd started an alternative universe, started the day.
you started something of a revolution. Quite a few people have tweeted us about this, and this email, which is from V. Hughes, says, my son had his grade 1 trumpet exam today at 12:39 in Hertfordshire.
Brilliant.
I thought it was a misprint, but it was correct,
Oh,
and he went in
brilliant.
on time. I felt quietly excited about it since you'd raised the issue, and I wanted to applaud the Associated Board of Music Examiners for their stimulating scheduling.
Yes, and I do too. Also, I don't know about you, but I've always really fancied playing the trumpet.
Have you?
Yes.
I went to, I think it was Weymouth on holiday with a few friends.
I'm sorry
back
about
in and they had a resonant band on in the club there, and there was a guy who used to play The Lonely Bull, Herb Alpert. And I just fell in love with the trumpet. My dream is to learn the trumpet, and in future to do all my car horn things live.
Oh, that sounds
Yeah.
good.
That'd be nice for Kath.
I think Keep Car Horns Live would be a good sticker to have on musicians. What do you think?
Well, you've got the lips for it, Frank. You're a bit
Has he
too
has he
Lisa.
Has he got a natural embrasure?
Have I? Anyway, look, I'll come. There'll be more on brochure chit chat later.
Skinner, Dean, and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
Well, we're still in email corner, but if I could just read a text first and foremost, because
we're free form.
I'm interested
ultimately.
in what this is all about. Peter342 has texted, hello trio, can I try an experiment? Can Alan pronounce moat, please? You will see what I mean when he does, but he doesn't say what he means.
Okay.
Moat.
Moat.
What have I done that's wrong about that?
It's quite extended.
I could
put
do a
it
John
that way.
Barrowman. Moat. See moat. There you go. I hope that satisfies you, Peter. 342.
Mort. I think it's a part that you are. It sounds like you're about to read Mallory's Mort D'Arthur.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was aiming for. I'm
Mort.
glad-
So it's instead of moat, you've gone Mort.
Oh.
Is that his point? Mort.
Maybe it is. Yeah.
Mort.
Peter 342. Let us know if that satisfies you. Into email corner, dear Frank, Emily, and Coquille St Jacques.
Oh no,
They love a variation of the cockerel.
I like Coquille Saint-Jacques.
Well, I'm glad you say that because I had to Google it and I thought it was absolutely disgusting. What is it? Scallops and wine and
Yeah.
mushroom and breadcrumbs and cheese. I mean,
It's a
that,
lovely dish.
all kinds of everything.
That is-
remind me.
I was
of-
really fine with the cockerel, with Le Coq Sportif, with some of the more,
don't like Coquille
some of the more
Saint-Jacques?
blue versions of Alan Cochrane. I was fine with. I haven't reacted badly to any of them, but Coquille St Jacques turned my stomach. It really did.
Pricey as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Pricey doesn't really work unless your surname's Price. I think we should
And it
stick
doesn't
with the
even
cockerel.
work then.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
Oh, disgusting Coquille
Don't mess with the
St.
pricey.
Jacques. Please can you settle an argument for us? We always listen to your podcast when travelling in the car and like to sing along with the jingles. However, we always sing different lyrics. Please can you tell us who you agree with? My other half believes that the jingle, e.g. following Frank's delightful singing of Email Corner, goes Absolute Radio.
Oh, you know what they're on about? They're on about dun 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 dun.
Oh, is that what they're on about?
Yeah.
I thought they meant at the end of Email Corner.
Yeah, and then it goes dun 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 dun.
Oh,
dun.
okay, right.
It's the absolute jingle, isn't
Yeah.
it? Dun,
Whereas-
dun, dun,
It's a standard
dun, dun.
jingle.
Whereas I'm convinced it rather charmingly goes, This is Frank Skinner.
Does that
No,
work?
it's
This is
Frank
Skinner.
Skinner.
No. What was their one?
Absolute Radio.
That's better. I've always thought Art of the Chocolatier, which is subliminal advertising for Thorntons, and we're not getting paid for it. Is that fair?
Well,
No.
they could sponsor the show. Just
Art
saying.
of the Chocolatier.
We don't know which it is.
Yours tunefully, Katie and Simon, prisoner numbers 975 and 848 respectively.
But, yeah, I'm happy to hear any suggestions as what the lyrics could be to that. We should get lyrics, because the music man here, who has to accept my musical choices, often grudgingly, might I add.
Worst job in London.
Once said to Daisy, can you ask him to steer clear of instrumentals?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't.
He did. I wouldn't mind, I was working on Classic FM at the time. It's very, very tricky.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We've had some suggestions for that jingle, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
You're not going to like this.
Go on.
This is from Tommy Shack. Emily, Dean and Friends. Oh.
Emily, Dean and Friends.
That's funny that's on your computer. It's not on mine.
Have you
really
made
weird, that.
There's another one.
Our main Dean jingle, of course, is...
We've not had that in a long time.
Oh, I could do the Kia-ora. Can you get me a Kia-ora?
There's also Emily, Frank and Al.
All right.
That's not bad.
You can call me Al.
The
Just
problem...
don't call me Cocky St
I
Jack.
think I sung that in a slightly rainbow way, which I like.
Yeah.
Isn't there a problem, though, that the jingle runs throughout Absolute's work?
Yeah.
So it couldn't be Emily, Frank and Al. It would have to be a more generic Absolute.
Well, unless they gave me a bit
Absolute
more
Radio,
work.
like they suggested.
Could give me a few more shows, wouldn't hurt.
Couple of extra shifts.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a bit busy at the moment.
Yeah, you
No
are.
one's talking about you.
You're always busy, aren't you? We've also had an email titled David Wilkie. Like Frank, I'm about the same age as David Wilkie, and I think you're a bit younger than him, actually.
Yeah.
And was once mistaken for him at my local petrol station back in the 70s. A guy got out from the car behind me and said in a familiar way, "Hello, how are you?" I replied, "Fine." He said he could see I didn't recognise him, so he proceeded to tell me that I was DW, David Wilkie, and that he spoke to me last night. I said he was mistaken. Then the woman who was filling my car with petrol, who had done it many times before, said, "I knew I had seen you." I then started to doubt my own identity.
Wow.
Yeah, that's quite...
Does it end yours, David Wilkie?
No, it's
I realised that he just
A.
had a terrible episode when he forgot he was David Wilkie.
I was once walking past a man in the Lake District with my wife.
You know, I love the beginning to this story.
Yeah.
And
me
as,
too.
at the time, I had appeared on a few panel games, and I occasionally troubled the late night schedules of Dave. And this gentleman walked
What, the
past.
home of witty banter?
The home of witty banter.
The home of Badil. Hey.
Sorry, that's
Is
my...
that a Who alert?
That's my car alarm.
Frank. Oh, who is
Is
it?
it really?
Now,
No.
I'm going to do a Chris Evans. You've got to tell us who it is now.
Okay.
That's the
Chris
rule.
Evans.
That's the rule. If the text goes off, you've got to
Is that
say who
right?
it is.
It says there's a children's party at 2. Then we have to leave as soon as Boz wakes up. Why
Okay.
not? I could just meet them there, or I can go home first. I like that song that you played with the female vocal.
Lovely.
yeah.
There you
And
go.
that's from David Badil.
Yeah.
It's from David Wilkie.
From John Barrowman. Sorry, I'm sorry about that. Sorry, everyone. It's very unprofessional.
I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I feel bad about it already.
Well, it's fine. It was funny. That's the rule. This chap stopped me and insisted that I had worked with him on some job that he'd done, like some forestation thing. And I was I couldn't say, no, I think it's that you've probably seen me on Dave late at night. And he's going, no, we've worked together. And I was kind of like, no, we haven't. I couldn't bring myself to put him out of his misery.
See, I always could just go with it. I just agree with anything. I do. Do you know when that bloke thought I was Colin Crompton recently, who died back in the 80s, and I just completely went with it. I mean, you're only going to be with these people for a matter of minutes. Why not just let them believe?
Oh, I didn't want
If
to
you
ask many
build it-
questions about the campaign that we'd worked on together.
If you build it, he will come. That's what I feel about the Colin Crompton hoax. What a great name for a band.
You're listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane.
On jingle lyrics, we've had a text, re-jingle lyrics, that's if the creeks don't rise, scans.
That's if the creeks don't rise. See, that works right across.
That could work, wouldn't it?
Yeah. That's very fun. Who's that from?
Mark.
Okay. Well, it's...
With a C. Good shout, Mark.
Mark with a C.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite jovial for such a depressing theme. Oh, I tell you who I'd like to talk about, Frank. Because I like a man who gets involved. You know that.
Oh, you certainly do.
And this Bob Rennings character, I don't know if you heard about him. He saved a driver from a burning car. He didn't call any emergency
like
services.
Hero man,
yeah, superhero, real life superhero. You did this a bit yourself when you were younger. You were a bit of a superhero, weren't you?
Well, I used to dress as Batman with my cousin, but we didn't. We didn't drag anyone from a burning car.
You never ripped open a locked car and bent the door.
No, we kicked a den down over the fields.
That's bullying. That's bullying. That's
no
not
one
the
there.
same.
No one there would have been too frightened. We just kicked it. It was mainly a milk crate and some. I think it was asbestos sheeting. So in fact,
those were the days.
You could enjoy asbestos in those days. But now, of course, it's all been oppressed.
A lot of judgment.
But yeah, we kicked it down.
Well, he pulled up on a freeway. Yes, I've gone American. What of it? Somewhere near Minnesota, I believe.
Okay.
And saw this car. He bent over, shattered the glass, freed the passenger because it was on fire.
How do you do that? How do you shatter the glass?
Just pure superhuman strength.
Brilliant.
I mean, I like this story, but mainly because it's sort of a grass is green. I'm never going to be part of this story.
I think.
Gonna be.
Oh, I don't know. I can imagine myself in a burning car.
I could be the burning. I mean, if I was to do that, if I had that power, I think I would rip open the door and then just find somebody smoking on the back seat and them go, "It's fine. We're just enjoying."
But I just know
e-cigarettes or something.
That person who rescued you in that fashion is quite likely in a week's time to get an invoice from Autoglass.
yeah, can you pay the first £75 that isn't covered?
I mean, I know you saved my life, but I mean, couldn't you just pull me out through the?
No such thing as a free emergency service. Frank, similarly, I'm not being rude, but I can't imagine you doing it either.
Oh.
I think your intention would be there, but I think you might sublet it, is what I'm saying.
Well, I'd get a man in.
Yeah, you would.
Probably call the fire brigade. I don't know. Maybe what I'd do is I'd get on the bonnet and shout some amusing anecdotes through the windscreen.
So they went out happy?
Well, just to calm them. Because it's panic that's the main thing.
Well, that would be calming, wouldn't it? Having a bloke telling jokes through the windscreen as the car's on fire.
Well, it depends on the jokes. They always say it depends on the joke.
Calming joke?
Well, he could sing Hopelessly Devoted to You.
Oh, yeah. Could do that, yeah. But I wouldn't be able to do my muttering version because I'd have to be able to hear it through the windscreen.
And
there
would
be some crackling and I imagine the dripping of interior.
Yeah.
And I'd have to do some, mainly my visual stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think. I mean, there's bits when you're on a bonnet and it suddenly goes down a bit and it just jolts you. I'd be a bit worried about my back in that respect.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Before we return to the man bending the car door open, I just thought I would share a text that we've just received from Mash in London. I used to live in the same village as Barrowman, by Barry in South Wales. John Barrowman used to live in Barry. That's a bit of gossip.
I didn't know he was a Barry man.
Yeah, he is a Barry man. He did an American-style garage sale one day, and my mate bought a pair of his jeans. I thought this was going to continue to be an eBay story, but no. They were a size 38 waist.
Yo,
what's
kidding.
that?
He wore them to the pub that night, and nobody believed they were Barrowmans.
I don't believe Barrowman's ever been 38 waist.
Well, maybe he'd pulled the ripcord.
No, I think he lost weight, Barrowman.
Oh, really?
I seem to remember when we had our TK Maxx chat. He might have revealed that.
Really? Had he gone paleo?
Fair enough.
Get rid of the carbs. Anyway, this Bob Renning,
Captain
the
Jack
superhero,
Harkness, of course.
Oh yeah. What about that? What about that?
Yeah. Mate.
What's that?
That was his role in Torchwood.
Oh, I can't be bothered talking about that.
Okay.
Well,
very fine.
You've got to be careful about starting a rule like that. I mean, that could ruin the whole show, couldn't it?
You know what? When Frank's in it,
when Frank
I'll
goes on
watch
about cricket, I can't be bothered talking about that.
Shut up.
That's when my episode goes.
There we go.
We should have a special music for
Get
that.
my diary.
Shall we have? Yeah.
Let's play some music.
October the 11th.
October the 11th.
TX date.
We need to think of a little strap line. We'll workshop a strap line while you're finding the music. October 11.
October 11.
Skinner on Doctor Who.
What do you think?
It's a bit
October 11th. I'm thinking October Revolution. I've got completely mixed up.
I quite like it.
It's quite big.
That reminds me when Tattoo had the flat upstairs.
I will put that date in my diary, though. Frank.
Put it in your diary. Let it settle there.
So Bob Renning, the superhero that ripped the car door off, I just worry about the rest of his life. Now that he's ripped a car door off, like, as soon as a pickle jar needs open and he can't do it, he's going to be like,
Well, I remember that
the rest
day.
of his family. Oh, do you remember you ripped that car door off, but now you can't get the pickle jar open?
I had that experience. I made a cheese sandwich and I literally could not get the top off the Piccadilly. And I ended up having to eat something else.
Did you not try all the tricks?
I tried. It's the most
Talk
depressing.
us through the tricks.
Yeah.
You pierce the jar lid. That works.
You know what? I'll be honest. I didn't try the tricks. I wanted to do it. I wanted to prove that I could do it without any tricks. Because I'm a man.
Elastic bands round the lid. Another way.
I bought a lovely rubber gadget from the Innovations catalogue.
Same trick. Really,
I've heard that. Later on, I had another go. I kept going intermittently through the day. And eventually, about 4 hours later, I'd got it off, and then I felt I could relax.
I heard that.
My theory is
not hungry anymore.
That this is I was too exhausted, too sick to eat with effort. But this is why pensioners get up 5 o'clock in the morning so they can loosen the jars for later in the day.
Yeah,
it was so depressing that's when you really know that you're near the end.
I always go very hot water so the metal expands slightly.
I just went hot.
Yeah, but on the plus side, you've got a penthouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that. I feel better already.
The Frank Skinner Show. Listen live every Saturday morning from 8 on Absolute Radio.
Talking about opening jars, says 285. Can Frank please do his world-class impression of Tupperware being opened? Chris?
Oh.
Well, we are talking about opening jars. That was very fine, Frank. And there was an extraordinary incident not 7 minutes ago in the studio.
I enjoyed it so much.
I love it.
Carry on.
If I was Kathy, I'd just ask you to do that all night.
How do you know she doesn't?
I think as opposed to your mumbling songs dream, that should be a central part of your Edinburgh show, your Tupperware opening impersonation.
Okay, remember the last thing you said to me, you should do that in your act. Completely died. I realised
it was sabotage.
It was a trap.
Somewhat Machiavellian advice from the cockerel.
Telling people your tickets are overpriced, all sorts.
I haven't said that. I think $27.50 is cheap for Frank.
It's not $27.50 anymore.
Plus $3.50 admin fee.
Yeah.
No, that's not true.
No.
He doesn't know how much the tickets are because he doesn't bother himself with details like this at his level.
I keep telling you, I go in the back door.
Anyway, we've just had a bit of an
extraordinary incident.
Jar opening episode.
Yes, Kerry went next door, came back, can you believe it, with 3 jars of Marmite.
Well,
one was
4
squeezy.
Technically. One was squeezy to prove that there is Marmite available, and 3 too tight screw top ones.
But the jars were offered to Frank Skinner, Alan Cochrane and Robbie Tech. And Robbie opened his within, I'd say, how long did it take?
The blink of an eye.
4 seconds.
Oh, you could
Alan Cochrane was next.
But he's a technical man, so he probably has to do that kind of physical thing a lot.
Yeah. Alan Cochrane about 7 seconds.
Yeah, been doing a little bit of grip training.
Frank Skinner, I've never seen such tension in my life.
Yeah.
It felt like it would never end.
He milked it.
Honestly.
He really milked it, didn't he?
If Julian Lloyd-Webber had been here with his bow, he could have played the tendons in my neck.
Honestly, it was like a street performer that you know is going to do the unicycle ride, but is pretending that they can't for ages.
I was no pretending. I thought, I just thought, oh dear, I'm going to make a fool of myself. But
it was Tom Cruise hanging off a cliff in Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible. That'd have been a different film if it was just with Frank and a jar of Marmite.
Anyway, can we establish that I did take the top off the Marmite?
Yep.
You did.
It was.
I've heard some
raining.
euphemisms in my time.
Yeah,
And if there are any paramedics in the Soho area that can treat shoulder injuries, that would be fantastic.
it shows that all I need is an audience, because then it just gives you that extra bit of adrenaline.
Do you think that's what
extra
Bob
drive.
Rennan did when they ran up to the car door? He thought, this car's packed.
Nobody knew that
the crowd.
the bloke in the car would tell people. That's why
Yeah.
he was desperate to save him. Imagine
Yeah.
if he died and not gone on to tell the tale of Bob's heroism.
Mm-hmm.
And I can exclusively reveal that Frank did do the now standard Stuart Pearce, come on.
Yes.
I did
gesture.
come on, and then I sang the first bit of Nissan Dorma.
Yeah, you did sing Nessun Dorma.
I did. And I don't normally like Japanese cars.
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Okay, I did save apparently someone's life once.
Did you?
A friend of mine told me that he was
No.
he was about to jump off a balcony at the flats in the West Midlands. We were probably up on the 10th, I would say, and I restrained him and basically talked him out of it. I don't remember. I was very drunk. And I think the tip in is if you want to be a hero in life, don't try it sober, for goodness sake.
No,
Get
too much
plastered.
pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way forward. But yeah, he tells me I saved his life, so if you're listening, Azama. No, he honestly, this mate of mine honestly claims that. So,
Really?
yeah, it's a nice thing. If only I could remember it, I'd feel quite proud of it. I'll tell you what, I always regarded as something of a superpower.
What's that?
I'm always the first in a group to feel rain.
Oh,
Are you, Frank?
Always, I'll say,
really?
I'll say,
lovely.
was that rain? And they'll go, and it's great when they go, no, I didn't know. And then it's the best ever.
Yeah.
I told you so superpower. Because then they go, oh, hold on a minute. It is raining. And I say, well, you heard it here first.
wow.
It's brilliant.
My superpower is, I think I know instinctively if people have been talking about me if I enter a room.
That could be paranoia, though. That's
No,
That's
I
so
know. I
easy
can
to-
tell by their faces. And do you know how I deal with it? I say, this looks like a very cosy chat.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, yeah. Take them on.
Do they ever say, oh, here she comes? That's one of my things to look out for.
Oh, does a double bluff do you do?
Especially if it's me entering a room, but I have to be entering a room of 1960s homosexuals for them to say that. Whoop, here she comes. But I don't do that very often nowadays. I think there is one by Anora next to the 1970s shop.
You're listening to the Frank Skinner podcast from Absolute Radio. Want your Frank fix a little sooner? Listen live every Saturday from 8 a.m. on Absolute Radio. Across the UK on digital radio, mobile apps, and in London and the South East on 105.8 FM.
Absolute Radio.
I think my sense of smell is on the very edge
I've eaten
of...
jam.
You've eaten jam?
But I doubt if a band called The Rifles will
No.
write a song about it. Sorry, Alan.
I think my sense of smell is on the very edge of human, and if it was just a little bit better, it'd be superhuman.
Really?
Yeah. I was on the
Are you
top
my
floor of my
honesty
house.
attaché?
I was on the top floor of my house the other
Yeah,
day,
yeah.
and I could smell the lilies that were in the kitchen. It's a ground floor, 3 floors above. Well, 2 floors if you count.
Were they
Middle and
particularly pungent?
Lilies are smelly, aren't they? So I suppose it's not that.
But even so.
Yeah.
Is that
so-
is that a plus or a minus in life, then?
well, it's a plus if it's nice smells, and it's a minus
Depends
if
who you
it's-
live with,
Of course,
really.
it makes
Yeah.
sense, really, doesn't it?
You know,
Yeah.
if someone's left the bathroom door open, it's not always great. But if it's
Well, unless they've been
you
in
know,
there
it's lovely
pulping
coffee.
lilies.
B.A. Baracus looks like he might smell a bit.
you think,
Yeah, Baracus.
Mr. T,
I think we established this, didn't we? Because
Yeah.
coffee gives you bad breath.
Yeah.
yeah,
Sheriff Rye coffee from Bonanza had lovely breath, and Mr. T had got breath like compost. We took back in a week. It's a funny old world, let's face it.
isn't it? And anyway, you were saying earlier that you've got
I
a
was
new
worried when
showering
you say you were
system.
saying earlier.
Yeah.
This is something I was saying off air that I would never say on radio in a
Yeah.
million years.
I feel I should confess, earlier on in the show when I said that I hadn't had an official shower or bath from Monday morning to Thursday evening,
Right.
it was because I've been away camping. The Cockerels went on a camping holiday.
Oh, well, I don't think you should. The last time I was in a tent for 4 days, I went to Cropredy, which is Fairport Convention's festival.
Is it really?
And
Sounds
I
like
didn't
chiropody.
even take my pants or socks off. I kept
Really?
them on for the whole
Did you?
thing. Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
You've really mucked in.
I'm all
as it
right with
were.
it. It's like a school holiday.
The last time I was in a tent, I was about 10 years old, school trip. I said, I never want to do that again, Mummy. She said, you never have to. And I haven't.
That sounds in a way like good parenting.
Yes.
If it upsets you this much, darling.
I bet
that's
you've
it,
been
you're
in a
done.
few marquees, have you?
Yeah, I might have.
It was great. I really enjoyed it. And I don't think I'm a natural
Do you
camper.
own a tent, or do you have to...
We now own a trailer tent, boys and girls.
Oh.
And as we were
What's
driving
that?
there, it's a trailer that opens up and becomes a
Oh.
tent. So it's very
So
clever.
it's almost a caravan holiday.
Very
Do you have an
clever.
awning then, an extension?
Yeah, it's
extended
got it
awning?
all. It's got it all. It was
I've
our first
seen
trip
those
with
on
it.
the sitcoms with Richard Bryars. I didn't know people had them.
It was our first trip with it, and my wife, whilst driving it, said, honestly, towing this trailer I think might be the most mature thing I've ever done. Now, that is a woman who has been through childbirth and who I know for a fact has got a will. Now, that is ridiculous,
Wow.
isn't it? The most mature thing, just towing.
We should save that for a texting next week.
What's
Yeah,
the most
most
mature
mature
thing you've
thing
ever
you've
done?
done.
mature thing you've ever done?
I think parenthood, isn't it? Surely. I know it's boring,
I don't
but
know. I mean,
towing a trailer.
I was on the lawn the other day, flat on my belly, pretending to be a crocodile.
right.
I wouldn't have done that since I stopped drinking. So I don't-
Stopping drinking's probably it.
That was fairly. Yeah, it's a big question, though.
Yeah. I had a bit of a moment as well. We'll come back to that if you want.
Oh, yeah.
I had a very mature moment whilst there.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, you always get a nice breakfast. That's what they say. So this.
My absolute God.
Yeah, I get a lot of texts to the show that begin like that.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Just hearing
easy
about
for you to
Alan's
say.
luxury holiday he treated his family to.
Well, it was luxury, yeah. We had to go in this trailer tent, and I had a little bit of I had a Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner moment. We stopped.
You didn't kill an albatross.
No, we stopped to ask
Did you
directions.
stop at one of three?
We asked this couple directions. They were they were
Did
a
they-
tanned couple.
And did he say, unhand me grey beard Lou?
No. She
I so wish he had.
She spotted the children in the back. She was probably, I would say, in her 50s or 60s, this woman, and she spotted the children in the back, and she was, 6 and 3, and then she fixed me with a stare, and she said...
You used to work with me.
Did she fix you with a glittering eye?
She fixed me with a stare and said almost threateningly, "These are the best years of your life."
Did she?
And I couldn't respond. I really wanted to say something like, "Well, now I've kicked the heroin, I'm really enjoying my time," but I couldn't because
Wow.
she'd gone for the full stare. And later that night, when I was killing a mosquito with a hammer,
Oh,
I thought,
no, sorry, but
is this what she meant? Is this what she meant? These are the best years? Am I meant to be enjoying this? I mean,
that's wrong.
well, it was just there. The hammer was there, and the mosquito was in the
We get a
trailer.
lot of Buddhist monks listen to this. They'll
Why
be
do you two
absolutely
always have a
horrified.
strange fallout at the end of every show? It was cricket last
week, it
week,
was
and it's
cricket.
mosquitoes this
it's
week.
my
I
slaying.
Well, I'll tell you something now this week, is that there was a horrible bitey thing in my bedroom,
Yeah.
a fly thing, and I thought, I don't just want to kill it.
None of us
Just-
made any comments about
No.
Kath.
Yeah.
I thought, I don't want to kill it, I'll leave it. And I woke up the next morning, I got about 5 really big bites, one of which has gone a bit septic and horrible. So,
See.
what's the moral of this story?
Get the hammer out.
Kill.
Yeah. And I did the strangest bit of admin I've ever done in my life. There was no signal because it was a North Wales bit.
Oh.
And we went down to the beach on the
Racist.
first day. No, it was all hilly, you know what I'm saying. Campsites, part of the thing is no signal.
Yeah.
Went down to the beach. I went about, I don't know.
I don't like the lone drive down to the beach.
No, we all went, like,
Oh,
playing, down into the sea. I walked out about 50
Down
feet.
into the sea.
Star was born.
Become SpongeBob SquarePants.
I went about 50 feet out into the water, and suddenly I had a signal. I got a volley of texts.
Wow.
I clicked on the 3G, and I got about 14 emails, to which I replied with my feet in the sea.
Oh.
Beautiful.
That's
really
worth knowing.
nice. It was a really
if
nice
things came
feeling.
to it, you could always move to Atlantis. It's worth knowing.
It made me think that businessmen should just do their work whilst they've got their feet in a foot spa.
That's where was she getting it? The Wi-Fi signal said Nautilus.
No, it's just 3G. There was no 3G in the tent, but there was
3G in
3G
the
out in the
sea?
sea. Yeah. It's amazing.
Well, we'll have to look into this. If there's any
Robbie the Tech will talk us through it
any
later.
3G experts, text us, and then
think I need
we'll
a
talk about it next
Don't-
week.
Spa
don't
for
call
my
me.
hot spa. That's what I've decided.
Well, that's a fascinating. I honestly find that when you're on tour, you realise that 3G is rare. 4G more or less doesn't exist outside of London.
Mm-hmm.
People look back on that and say, "Can you believe that was the case?" Oh, I don't know. Anyway, coming up next is Leona Graham, and if the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. Now get out.
The Frank Skinner Show on Absolute Radio. Back Saturday morning from 8. Tune in live for the full Frank experience.
Absolute Radio.